Hey, my friends, this is Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. We have another guest this morning, student of our programs and material. She ditched her brick and mortar business to go 100% online, all the way from, well, I believe she's from Kentucky. Help me welcome Tiffany. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. Yes, cold
How,
Kentucky.
cold Kentucky?
It's been snowing and ice, but I think we're gonna have a heat wave today and things are gonna disappear a little bit. So looking forward to that.
All right. Well, I'll send you a heat wave. It'll be 75, 80 degrees from Florida, but
Nice.
that might that might overwhelm you, that much
Like,
heat.
right.
So, tell us, Tiffany, how found Legendary. Did you have no online experience or no online real connections because you had an offline business? Give us a nutshell look into your history. What what were you looking for when you found Legendary, and what has it been like since?
Sure. So I was at a ball game, I think, or practice. I think it was a game, and a friend, another parent, was talking about it, and she's actually joined this company, and it's really fun. She was with you guys before I joined, obviously, and so it's really funny because she too recommended the person who ultimately was able to buy my most recent brick and mortar. So she played a huge role in this chapter of my life.
Wow.
But I had 11 years in the corporate world, just, a little backstory. And I had already dabbled with the online industry through direct sales and had a lot of success with that. But I knew there was also much larger picture that I could see, and I could almost taste it and I could almost feel it, if that makes sense. But I just didn't know where to start. I didn't know how to like even dip my toe in it, to start to see and explore that world. And so she was telling me about emails she got. She was getting emails of her commission while we were there, and I said, "All right, tell me what you do," because she also worked full time, has kids, very similar lifestyle that I have. And I just wanted to understand what it is she's doing that's getting her paid while our daughters are on the ball field. So she shared the link with me. I watched it, and I'm a student. I love to learn. I have a master's degree. Like I enjoy learning, but I feel like what I've learned since completing all my education, as I know you guys have talked about a lot in the training, but all of the real life experiences I've had, whether it be in corporate world or post corporate life that I've built through this entrepreneurial journey, have almost taught me more than the classroom, because of the failures and then the victories too. But like, you just learn so much from doing, and I am just in love and obsessed with this journey, I guess, and so excited to see what's in store. I think this online industry is literally where it's at right now. We saw a major shift with the pandemic, so if it wasn't already big enough, it sure is now, I feel like. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's what got my interest and how I got started, and why I'm here. So
Hmm.
hope that
Yeah.
covers all
So
that.
great. That's really interesting that you were sitting at an offline baseball game, which is, I mean, yeah, and somebody shared a link with you, who was sitting next to you, a friend of yours, and that's how you ultimately did you sit right there on the baseball stands and watch the sales video, or did you just have the link and then go and watch it on your own time later? Personal curiosity.
Did I watch it later? Is that what you said? Or
Did
or
you watch
then?
did you watch it right then on the baseball bleachers, or did you wait to watch the sales
Oh,
video until you got home?
I did wait. I was very curious, but I did wait. I watched it that night, I think, and then the next morning I was like, "Tell me more. I want to know." Like, so how do I do this? And I was like, $7. I mean, I've
So
opened
you
2 brick
you
and
want
mortar businesses.
all right, so you've opened 2 brick and mortar business, you're an entrepreneur,
Yeah,
right? And so you watched the sales video and you didn't immediately just buy for 7. You went back to her and said, "What is this? Like, it's only $7." That's how it went down.
yeah, because I mean, I get that
You'll spend
there's
you'll spend
more,
a
and
ta you'll I mean, just like me, I'll drop God knows what on shoes or a
right,
watch right on the spot. And you'll drop God knows what on a bag or whatever right in the mall if they got the one you want or one you love or whatever. But even us seasoned entrepreneurs, we're gonna watch a video and then it's only $7. We're gonna go back to the person and be like, okay, what is this? This is just
right.
fascinating.
Too good to be true, right? You're thinking.
I guess right, maybe so. Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's just that's one of the problems with doing business with friends and family is,
Hmm.
and I'm glad you're here. Ultimately, I'm glad you're here and I'm glad you found us and I'm glad you're getting value and all that great stuff. But the problem with businesses where you got to have your marketing directly to your friends and family is that they do that shit to you. But honestly, don't they?
Yeah.
You go and you give them something and then they come back and hit you with 100 questions as if you're their personal concierge. We do it to others, others do it to us. It's just a thing that human beings do to their friends and family,
Hmm.
whereas you won't barrage a stranger with questions like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just funny.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
tri-
So, I didn't ask her too many, but it was nice to have that third party validation, I
yeah,
guess.
right, right, right.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, yeah.
But
I'm
yeah,
picking
I
on
did
you.
go
I'm
back and
picking on
ask. I'm
you.
like, all right,
I
I'm
know.
confused.
I
You're
just
making
think
that much
that's
money.
funny. I know, I know. I just think it's funny because there's a good chance that if you just saw that on a random post on social media, like you would just watch it and sign up
Right.
versus
Right.
if it was from your friend who you knew you could go back. I just think it's funny. It's just human nature. It's one of
Hmm.
the reasons why I love marketing to cold prospects because back in the day when I marketed to my friends and family, they would do the same thing because it's human nature. All humans
Right.
do it. We go back to our friend instead of just signing up, instead of just spending the money and just seeing for myself. I got to go back and
Hmm.
hold them hostage on the phone for 45 minutes saying, all right, really paint this picture for me. Really help me, and just hit him with questions while he's trying to, whatever, cook dinner for his kids. And I'm sitting
Right.
here. It's just human nature.
Yeah. I
So,
mean,
anyways,
even
go ahead.
Well, even just having the experience in direct sales, watching people like when the value was this to join because online businesses weren't quite as popular, and now we've been able to make it more affordable for people. Now they have even more questions. I'm like, it's because the opportunity is,
The
we
cheaper it
want
is,
you to,
the more questions people have. I mean, that's
yeah. I'm
usually
like,
how it works,
so
right? That,
people are so skeptical by nature. Yeah.
yeah. No, yeah, and of course, if it's $7 opposed to 700, if it was 700, there's less questions than at 7.
Sure.
And that's one of the things that you know is I've realized and a lot of people have is that a lot of times your best paying customers are your high ticket customers. Now you happen to be somebody who's serious and who eventually, you got started and you like to invest in your education and all that. But usually the people who want things for free are usually not your best customers.
Right.
Usually they're your worst customers. You know what I mean? The
Hmm.
ones who spent the least make the most noise. But anyways, so now that you've signed up and gone through it, the 15-day challenge, I don't know blueprints or not, but you've invested in your education. You've spent some time and energy here. Are you glad that you did? I know that you were talking earlier about the excitement of online business in the future, but have you now transitioned fully from your offline stuff to 100% online? And by online, are you doing affiliate marketing and stuff like that? Tell us now what you're doing as a result of discovering this training and making this transition, and talk us through the transition.
Right. So I did start this. I took this training in the fall. Sold the brick and mortar at the end of the year. So I closed out the year. So it's a flower and gift shop. So our busiest season, of course, is November, December. So it was a very, very busy season with my other business, which I was also tying up loose ends, et cetera, et cetera. But this was easy enough to make time for. I was able to grow a following. I don't have the following obviously that I'd hoped to have by now, but I'm over 5,000, so and that's on TikTok that I'm speaking of specifically. So I'm like, there's a milestone. Okay, we're going to set the next go, and just chip away. And I continue to remind myself, you can't compare my chapter 1 or 2 to someone else's chapter 30. First of all, and second of all, it's also it's really not a race. So what if someone else did this much in this amount of time, and maybe it's going to take me twice as long to have those kind of results. I'm just finding the consistency and the creativity, ways that I can pull all the different things that I love into one hub and share it with my people. And I'm really just falling in love with like that journey and how I can use all of my experience, all my education, all the things that I've done to kind of help other people. This training being one of those, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Just so that, if you want to start an online affiliate marketing business, here it is. If you love, this or that, here's what I've found. This has helped me in my personal development, the things that have just helped me in my journey, and share those with people through affiliate marketing primarily.
Mm-hmm. No, I love it. Are you what is your TikTok handle? Path to Freedom?
Yes.
Path the number 2 Freedom? Okay. Tiffany
Yes.
W. Jackson. I got you. So how has it been like for you to transition and do some camera marketing? Has that been something that's been difficult for you to get used to? Or did you feel somewhat natural talking on the phone? Is it like a FaceTime to you? Talk us through some of the things that you've had to get a little bit uncomfortable, or comfortable being uncomfortable doing.
Right. Well, TikTok was uncomfortable, period. My account existed only to watch, what's my daughter doing, is all, who's following her, make sure, I've got it private, all of those things. So, and all the dances that they do and all the funny things. And I thought, now, if that's what I've got to do, I'm not sure this is for me. But as I began to like the things, because obviously the algorithm caters to the things that you're giving attention to, as I began to like the things that led, financial freedom and personal development and all the growth, just business in general, that began to flood my For You page. And I'm like, oh, well, I get it now. Like so I don't have to dance.
You
But
saw
should
you
I
saw you saw
use
adult you,
trends?
you saw business content. You saw
I
a
did.
different type of content that made you say, "Wait, okay, whoa, this is cool. I can do this. I'm
Yeah.
not going to do that, but this makes sense."
Yeah. And I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that. That's just not what I was comfortable doing. But can I talk
Yeah.
about the things I love? Absolutely. I still feel funny sometimes, the little, the trending songs and the funny faces you make and the, whatever. But like, again, I don't know if it was yesterday or recently, you shared on a Wake Up Legendary, she was talking about, again, just letting go of what anyone else thinks. Who cares if you look like a fool for 7 seconds? Like, nobody's going to remember that in a year. And one thing that I've learned in this industry, or in even direct sales, but like literally until someone else's opinions pay your bills, they don't matter. So I've learned to let go of that a bit, I guess. But it's still been way out of my comfort zone. But it's been fun, I mean, it is. I've enjoyed it.
You look and feel worse if you quit than, if you fail or something like that, which I don't know. How do you define fail? I really don't know. I think each person has their own definition. But you
Yeah.
look worse and feel worse if you quit. And I think that's what is more important to focus on. It's have I disappointed myself, or am I living up to an expectation that I have of myself that makes me feel good about myself? If we turn our direction to impressing ourself, living up to our own standards, or doing things that makes ourselves feel proud that we're willing, for example, if I go and tell my men I'm a plumbing superintendent, and I'm going to tell my 6 guys to dig a ditch. I better. I'm going to feel a lot more confident if I've already dug a ditch and I know how to dig a ditch, rather than if I'm just standing there, you know, just telling somebody what to do. So, I I think that, anyways, it's it's interesting. Um, what's coming up for you as you think about the future here with your business, and kind of what you're going to do next?
I really, I think I'm going to revisit the blueprints and look into a bit more of the organic approach with things via Facebook and or Instagram, because I think to tie this all together, I've got to kind of step back and brand myself a bit. Um, I am and hopefully continue to evolve. So I guess that's part of it. And it makes it sometimes hard, I think, because, and maybe it's this entrepreneur brain, maybe you can validate that this is just how we are wired. But like I love a little bit of everything, and I like to know a little bit about everything, but I really have a hard time sometimes honing in on what it is that I love the most. And so that's where I am in my journey, I guess you could say, like to share about the $7 course. I was even able, I wrote an ebook. It's just like a little on Canva, and put it out there so it's free to people. So then within there, I've embedded the links to the course and things like that. So I can do that and share that all day long. It's coming kind of second nature on that, but I need to find ways to just get more traffic. Um, for that, but then for everything else, how to pull it all together so it's not confusing to people. Okay, she likes this and she likes this, but here's who she is. And then you have
Yeah,
access to all of it. Like I just want to, like, I feel like I have a world over here and a world over here, and I want to try to figure out how to pull them together, but
yeah.
still offer all that I have to offer. So, I'm in a major transformation, I guess, stage of my career, but
Hmm.
it's pretty exciting, really.
Yeah, and I can it sounds exciting, and I can completely relate to the being all over the place. And here's the challenge that I've faced, and the things that I've realized is that, I'm never really going to be satisfied, because here's the challenge. Whether I got multiple streams streaming, and I feel like I'm satisfied because I'm spinning 10 plates, because that's what we do. We're not
Right.
satisfied until we're spinning 10 plates, and then we get overwhelmed, right?
Yeah.
And then I got to get rid of some stuff. I got to get some stuff off my plate, right? And then we get stuff off our plate, and then somehow we get back to spinning plates. But for me, these last 5, 6 years have been about total and absolute simplicity and focus.
Yes.
Meaning that I only focus on, too many entrepreneurs want to get multiple streams streaming before they got that first stream streaming. You know what I mean? Multiple streams of income, but you ain't got that first stream streaming. And so, what my plan is, and it's so simple, and I can understand it, and it just makes so much sense to me, is that I have one business, and you know what? That business can produce, meaning this business right here, Legendary Marketer, can
Sure.
produce enough income. And Legendary Marketer, we do affiliate marketing, we sell information, products, courses, events. We essentially eat our own cooking. We do the things that we teach.
Yeah.
And so with this business, and this is what my vision began to be clarified about a couple of years into it, as I felt a little bit itchy, and I felt like, oh man, I'm Bitcoin, and there's all these other things that I'm missing out on, all these other businesses that these other, plates I want to spin. But I decided to focus 100% on my one cash cow. And that's,
Yeah.
instead of having a bunch of little tiny, baby cows that are all producing, let's just say 10,000 a month, or they're all producing 100,000 a month, however you want to think. But
Yeah.
just focus on having one that produces 1 million a month, right?
Mhm.
And so I've done that. And I take that money from that business, uh, and I invested in different categories or buckets on the back end: real estate, precious luxury assets, stocks, things of that nature, investments, things that typically then produce cash flow and or a dividend, and or somehow they grow without me doing
Right.
anything to them, versus just setting money in a savings account, or even buying other businesses. Right now in my career, it's not a time for me to buy other businesses and get involved in strategy and stuff with other businesses. I'm not 60, I'm not 65, I'm not ready to sit on boards. I'm still actively running a company. And so that's been helpful for me. And it helps me because I've only got one business to stay on message on my content. In my every day, I'm thinking about one thing. I'm thinking about the black and the white. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about Legendary. That the only one company I'm thinking about every day in and day out. And we've grown as a result of that. We've grown as a result of that focus. We've grown. We did shitty numbers. The business has always Our business has always made money, and I've always made great money in this industry. But over the years, what happened was our business grew from, a couple of, 100,000 a month or 50,000 a month or whatever, to a couple 100,000 a month, to, 20 million in a year last year, and 2 million in a month last month. Think about that.
Yeah.
Organically starting over with nothing. Legendary started with none of my customers, or hardly, maybe a couple of customers who knew me, but none of the affiliates from previous things I did anything. But that I give credit to that focus of not getting I'm undistractable. And I'll tell you, I even find myself some days going, wow, it's actually nice, I got a free afternoon or something,
Yeah.
which is weird, because I always have had a to-do list, and I got things that I could do and create if I wanted to, projects, things to get into. But my point is that I think way too many entrepreneurs burn themselves out, get spread too thin, get frustrated, overwork. I see people having 10-year streaks of just being all over the place, scatterbrained, starting things, stopping, and when they could have built a small empire if they just saw a project through to a company, through to something that it takes a few years. And this even goes for everyone who's even building an affiliate marketing business. I still do affiliate marketing to this day. It's a decent portion of our bottom line at the end of each month. And but we're focused. We're not in e-commerce. We're not doing this and that. I mean, for God's sakes, if I wanted another stream of income, I'd do it in the information space with a new affiliate product, and it'd be a campaign that was designed like the rest of the campaigns. Because why do I want to go out and complicate the shit out of every day of my life in my business? Find my entertainment elsewhere. Stick to baking and serving and selling cheese pizzas in my business. That was one of the best pieces of advice I ever got from a real estate mentor who wasn't a mentor at that time, but I was working with my dad as like a poor homeless teenager junkie with my dad. And I happened to ask this investor that he was working for back when I was 18. I said, hey, why don't you sell or rehab and flip like $1 million mansions and all this? Like, seems like there's a lot. I don't know my ass from a hole in the ground. I'm an 18-year-old punk kid who doesn't even have a pot to piss in. And I'm thinking that I'm going to open up an untapped market for this guy who's got his shit together, and he's an investor and a flipper, and my dad's one of his contractors. But anyways, he gave me a piece of valuable wisdom that in that moment, I didn't know how good it was. And I'm glad I remember it because I was probably so stoned I couldn't see straight. But I happened to remember it. And he said, Dave, he didn't even say, I'm going to give you a piece of wisdom like some arrogant asshole. He was just like, Dave, I stick to cheese pizzas, man. I don't get into all this other hoagies and stubs and meatballs and all this shit. I stick to cheese pizzas. And that was a valuable business lesson, probably one of the best that I've ever had. It's been invaluable in my journey because the sticking to something instead of introducing other complicated shit to your business. And we do this all the time. We'll be moving right along, humming, building our affiliate business, and then we'll say, oh, okay. We'll get somebody who just lands in our Facebook Messenger and says, oh, they want to be a client or something. So we take them on at $2,000 a month. We're unqualified. We don't have a system set up. We're not even actively taking clients, but somebody's willing to give us money. So we're ready to create a new department in our business to just take that person's money to give them some coaching sessions, and we got to get to a point in our business to where we're so focused and dedicated to cheese pizzas and keeping it simple that even if somebody came with a stack of money, but wanted us to do some shit that was outside of our daily structure that gave us peace and produced results, we would be able to say no. Now I'm ranting. What came up for you out of some of the things I just said, Tiffany?
A lot of the same experiences. I think that's where I found myself was spreading I wanted to be involved in everything. Both, we're in a small town. Both of the businesses I opened were here. They were both something we were lacking, something we needed. I saw an opportunity, a void, and I got excited, and I loved the startup, loved the challenge. And then I'm like, okay, what's next? Once it's done, once the hard part's over, and I was like, I've got, while it's been rewarding and I'm glad that they're here, I'm at a point in my life, like when I started this, my kids were really young. Now, they're still young. They're still at home and don't drive. But now they're both old enough to be involved in multiple sports, travel sports, all the things. And so we're on the go a lot. And I've been married to my career for so long that I learned, I wanted to start refocusing my priorities, family first. But obviously with the finances to support that. And so the fact that I can work this wherever, whenever, at the ball field, at practice, at, wrestling tournaments, whatever we've got going on, the kids don't miss me. I try to make sure they understand, okay, mommy's going to do this. Like, yes, I'm on my phone because then I'm a teenager. I'm going to get off your phone. Like you're losing hours of your life, yet I've been on mine, but I just try to help her understand the difference and without being such a hypocrite. But anyway, I just love that flexibility. It's been able to give me the lifestyle that I, for the kids, and so that my husband can continue to do, he actually owns a business too. And then I do the administrative stuff of it. So we are just, we're busy, but this works. You can do a couple of, some days I spend more than 2 hours, but if it's a busy day, an hour of creating content is enough.
One of the things that I say is I don't say this, but I'm going to say it, and it's going to start being something that I say. I don't have time to have a job, to be honest with you. To be honest with you, I don't have time to be driving a half hour into some office, sitting in some place for all day, and then driving home. I mean, it's raining outside right now, in some shitty weather, all cold and stuff, being away from my house, being away from my toilet, being away from my shower, being away from my smoothie maker, my magic bullet,
Yeah.
and it's like, I mean, we are busy. We are busy. And then you introduce kids into somebody's life. People, if you don't want your life to not be yours anymore, don't have kids, because when you have kids, your life is no longer even yours.
Yeah.
So you even having a business, what is expected of you if you're an adult is to both be an amazing be an amazing parent, right? But also to provide, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
not be on your phone and follow all these social norms and all this stuff, and I mean, it's just, and then you're also supposed to have a job that has a 401k or insurance or whatever. And it's like all of these people in society in general has this opinion, but it's like life is hard, and it's like you know um sometimes we don't get support from the people or we get criticism from the people who are closest to us, when it's like these types of businesses give us the freedom to be at home and be around our family.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, even if that's more, I don't know, in some way more stressful, because honestly, when I leave the house, I mean, or whatever, drop my kids off at school, they're not even my problem, really, just keep them alive. But when they're with me, they're a lot of work, honestly. I got a 1 and a 5-year-old, but the truth of the matter is I'd rather be with them than away from them,
Yeah.
you know? And so this business and businesses like this give us the ability to do that, and even though it may be crazy at times, it's what we want, right?
Yeah.
Because we wanna be able to call the shots and have freedom over our own time schedule, you know?
Yeah, because my corporate career was crazy too, but not on my terms. I am so thankful for my family, but I promise you, they thought my husband and my parents thought I was absolutely crazy when I said, I think I'm going to quit my job at the hospital. I was in administration. I had a very good job. In fact, was continuing to grow. But what I was realizing was I was kind of maxed out at that location, and I was going to need a further commute, probably longer hours, but I'd been salary for about 95% of that career. So I was working 60, getting paid for 40. So when you really, anyway, whatever. And my kids at the time were like 1 and 6. So by the time I did decide to leave and open the gym, actually, that's what I did first. I think they were 2 and 7, and they got to be a part of that. They helped paint. Even
Yeah.
as we opened it, they would come in and greet customers. They learned how important customer service was. I just tried to make it, even during the pandemic when they were out of school and we were homeschooling everything. They were at the flower shop with me. What's important here? Okay, you're gonna help with inventory. You're gonna take care of customers. Like, even my son delivered flowers. I was like, all right, now this is how we treat a lady.
Oh,
But
that's nice.
I just made every little moment count because they could be with me, but then I was still locked into that 9 to 5, and it
Yep.
made it hard with their schedule. So this has allowed me that freedom to put their schedule first, and then I just weave this into whatever's left of my day. So
And there's a lot of noble things about having a job, and I'm not here to
mhm.
bash jobs. I'm not here to bash college, even though I can be opinionated on some of these things. The truth of the matter is that being able to work from home used to be a dirty little secret. I almost felt guilty sometimes to think about, dang, man, like there's literally nobody else that I know in the thousands of friends and family or whatever that I know who do what I do. And man, I just wonder if they have this much freedom.
Yeah,
Now it's becoming a little bit more mainstream because how things have pushed people to work at home and stuff like that. But, I'm not here to say what I have because I don't really have it. It's not really mine, but this knowledge, these skill sets, if you can achieve them, there's not a single item that can give you freedom. I mean, I guess I guess if a Brinks truck backed up in your driveway and dumped hundreds of, millions of dollars in your driveway, but realistically, that's not going to ever happen. That's the likelihood of that ever happening is
Right.
next to nil. And so the next best way is to kind of acquire skills that you can use. And I'm not here to preach, and I'm not here to oversell, because honestly, we have people are buying at more rapid paces this information right now than they've ever before in the 10 plus years of me doing this,
Right.
because they do realize, they do understand that they've not I mean, they've been insulted by their bosses for years, but now they've been insulted by the government. They've been insulted by society. A lot of
Hmm.
you talk about the healthcare industry, a lot of them feel underappreciated right now. A lot of our law enforcement feels underappreciated. A lot of our just regular, just everyday, good, ordinary citizens feel underappreciated because they were deemed non-essential, sent a couple of $1,000 checks and said, figure it out.
Yeah.
When that probably wouldn't have been, they probably would have rather stayed at work and took their chances.
Hmm.
um, but they were sent home. So people are pretty crazy about this information right now. So I really say to folks, look around. It's not like there are this is the world moving at a rapid pace right in front of your eyes. This is the economy and the marketplace shifting. You see so many people who are going to drive for Uber and do Bite Squad and these gig jobs, and they're quitting their jobs. They're moving online. They're making things and selling them on Etsy. I mean, there's lots of business models. I happen to think this one's the best. But people are. I just heard of another story the other day. I just can't remember it right now, about somebody else who quit their job and started doing some random kind of entrepreneurial thing, and is having success with it.
Yeah.
And so I just think we're under this big kind of revolution that's being somewhat hidden or shaded by the what's going on with the medical stuff. But
Hmm.
under the current, there's a whole shift of citizens who are shifting to more online stuff. And I'll tell you, folks, if you don't do it now, what's just happened and how you've been, they've told you we're not coming to rescue you.
Yeah.
What would possibly motivate someone to do it? What else could one say or do to motivate? I don't think anything. It's almost like if you're not motivated, maybe you're now a little bit more motivated because I've pointed it out to you.
Right.
But what would motivate you more than to see and experience what has just happened recently in our world and say, nobody's coming for me. I better do something.
Yeah.
How do you turn that off? How do you unsee that? How do you unthink, rewind that? Right? Now I'm
Hmm.
speaking to a lot of our non-entrepreneurial friends who maybe haven't starting something isn't as easy as it is for others, and or even following through. But why don't you tell us one thing that you wish you knew when you started that you know now that would have helped your newer self in this online venture, Tiffany?
When I started with Legendary,
Well, just when
this
you
past,
started here, even at the beginning, at any point,
okay.
share with us something that you didn't know, but you know now, and it would have been helpful for you to know it then.
Right. Um, I think probably just letting go of else's expectations. Again, I kind of did that a while back, I guess. So that part wasn't as hard for me, yet it was still new, still different. Again, as I mentioned, it's a small town. When people's kids start discovering that so and so's mom is on TikTok, the talk is interesting,
Well,
and just letting go of that, because the opportunity in this giant industry can be your business. And no matter what business you have, even my gym, my flower shop, what, someone will always have something negative to say. So do I just close my doors because they hurt my feelings? No, and nor is that why I sold it. I mean, I've shared with you why I sold it. It is an absolute value to this community, but I was at a point where I needed time with my family, and I knew that there was a way through this. This is what I absolutely could see, to make more. And again, it's not always about money, but my time was worth a lot. So to make more doing less, if that makes, I don't want to act like it's not work, but you know what I mean? It didn't take me away from my family as much, so I could contribute to my family more, create that lifestyle that we want, while taking me away from them less. So it just absolutely, I wish I had just kind of came in with this gung-ho, like make it like big right out of the gate instead of tiptoe into it. I mean, not that I held back much, but I think just understanding how big this platform is, and where it's going, you know, that's huge, because the opportunity, I feel like, is endless. And you don't, I mean, you pick your niche, like you get to be you, like you don't have to be Dave Sharpe. Like you take the things that are taught by Dave Sharpe and use them to promote the things that you love. And hopefully, you know, that you're able to share your course with them along the way so that they can be more successful in their endeavors as well. But it's just it's not a cookie cutter, you know, going to college and then graduate school and then getting my job and then the next promotion. That was the cookie cutter approach. You know, this is not. You set your own pace. But yeah,
it's funny that we don't think of that college as cookie cutter, but it really is. What has been something that's been, whether it be the community or something about how the training was laid out or something that was said or an experience with an advisor or something about what would you say here if you were talking to one of your friends, or what did you say or what do you say when you're talking about legendary, and maybe that they might want to give it a try and at least, I mean, selfishly, at least to get the information? What do you say, and what would you say to somebody about what you like most, or why you think somebody should go through, at the very least, our 15-day challenge?
Honestly, I can, the term I use, I can admit that I'm almost tech-tarded, if you will. Like I am so like the back end of things, and that's what, when I'm reaching out with questions, that's still what I have questions about. But again, it's because I'm thinking bigger picture, like how do I connect it all now? But the way that you guys walked me through a ClickFunnels, and it was all ready, and then I could just copy it in and it was there, and then do this and how to put a link here. I mean, I didn't have a clue about any of that. And so sure, I could go to YouTube and learn it and figure it out. I'm sure it's there somewhere, but it's not going to be as hands-on. It's not going to be as direct. And I wouldn't have had a person, a human, to ask a question to if I was stumbling, which I did stumble. So it was nice to have someone hold my hand through that, because that part is just, I don't understand the back end of all the technology side of what happens in this industry. And I'm very thankful for that education. So
yeah, no, I'm not
it's
either.
like boring. Yeah.
I'm not either. So, all right. Well, awesome. Well, Tiffany, listen, thank you so much for your time, even though you're feeling a little under the weather today. It was all great, clear, good info. Thanks for your story and your work so far, and keep us posted. Come back here in a few months and let us know how things are going. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Tiffany, we'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
See you. All right. You can follow Tiffany at TikTok, or on TikTok, at Path to Freedom. Path and the number 2 freedom. Path to Freedom. She's also got an Instagram, Path to _freedom. So you can find her on both of those platforms. All right, my friends, get out of here. Have a fantastic Tuesday. Make a decision today to do something powerful for your future. Invest in yourself, but do an extra 5 minutes. You know, make a commitment. Push yourself a little bit harder. We're right here in the middle of February 2022, and like it's so early in this year to still make it the best year of your entire life. There's a lot of momentum behind you, and we're here, of course, to support you every step of the way. So be legendary, my friends. Get out of here. Have a great day. Peace.